2007, 2017, 2009, 2017, 2013, 2017.
A couple of the items we've shipped in the past have been as far away from the TS art style as we want to go.
And those items would be...
I think the dangerous glasses would probably be out there. I think those are probably one of the most egregious things.
Hey guys, is the Pyro update out yet? No? Okay. I have an announcement to make. I officially quit TF2. Trading. I got bored of trading years ago and I haven't actively done it in a long time. The reason I bring this up is that over the years, TF2's art style has gotten, we'll call it developed. TF2's cosmetics have always had some level of absurdity to them, but they've really ramped it up to like 10,000 in recent years. And I'll give you an example. The counterfeit Billy Cock is a great hat. It's absurd, but it's not unrealistic. It doesn't look out of place, and it perfectly reflects the character of the class wearing it.
This one's just a banana.
Does the spy even like bananas? Does anybody in this game like bananas? Okay, maybe him. But what's your excuse?
I don't have one.
TF2's always had contextually questionable items. I'm pretty sure mechanical arms and boomboxes weren't around before the 70s, but this game has teleporters and magical healing air goop, so I'm willing to suspend my disbelief at least a little bit. However, there's a line where things start to really look out of place. Promotional items are some of the worst contenders for art style breaking. People usually write this off saying that because it's promotional, it doesn't count. And yeah, that's a fair point. I mean, I'm sure Valve sees it the exact same way.
I think the ones that we would all point to would be the Shogun stuff. We're really happy with those items. We think that they visually fit TF style really nicely. They were made by Rob Laro. We love Rob's work. We think he understands TF style really well. Visually fit TF style really nicely. Visually style really nicely.
1971, by the way. That's the latest time TF2 in-game takes place. Oculus Rift was founded in like 2013? A couple years after 1971. I know I keep referencing this interview in videos, even though it's 6 years old and it doesn't necessarily reflect Valve today, but I feel like if you worked on the original TF2, you probably have a decent say on how the game should be stylized. Whenever an item creator updates their item, Valve generally obliges by implementing the update in-game. Most people only use this to overhaul the item years later, or to give it to another class that it fits on, but interestingly enough, Valve really didn't seem to care how far you'd push the envelope with this. You want to make the hot dogger all class? Yeah, fuck it, go for it. You want to make this knight helmet all class? You want to make a peaked cap all class? Oh yeah, let's make a fighter pilot hat all class. Okay, well that's not fair. Ever heard of the hazmat head case? As a joke, the creator put in a sniper version, expecting Valve to catch it, but Valve, being the AAA company that they are, didn't. It seems like Valve has stopped adding these multi-class updates, which is good because they were getting kind of ridiculous, but the fact that they were allowed through in the first place, to this degree... What happened to item descriptions? You know, these things? They stopped adding them after 2014 for seemingly no reason. And given the current ratio of TF2's developers looks something like this, I don't get why they can't knock out a few item descriptions. I know this sounds trivial, but hear me out. Item descriptions are pretty important. They taught us that Scout is canonically a pedophile, and if that isn't enough reason to bring them back, I don't know what is. 7 years ago, Valve held a hat describing contest, and I don't understand why they haven't done it again. I've emailed about it 3 times over the last 4 years, but the only time they've ever responded to me was when I was looking for a cactus or when I wanted to scream freely. So I don't expect to hear from them anytime soon. Ooh, hey, pause the video, I just got an item drop. That's actually perfect, because it leads to my next point. Cases suck. 1, you have to actually collect the case before you can open it, which means you have to earn or buy a chance to buy a chance to buy a chance uncrate and ungrade unusual hat. 32 duplicates, 0 unusuals, and I didn't even get every fucking item in the case! There's less than 20 items! 2, class distribution is always uneven. Wow, look at all these Scout cosmetics. Wow, look at all these Engineer cosmetics. Wow, look at all these Scout cosmetics. Wow, look at all those Heavy cosmetics. 3, sets are arbitrarily broken up. Like this one, or 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 this one. 4, Valve applies tiers to every case cosmetic, which leads to artificial rarity and therefore price inflation, the highest tiered slot becoming an excuse to add a gaudy cosmetic. Nobody will buy keys otherwise. Item border confusion because they couldn't fucking think to use something that isn't purple?
God damn it!
The workshop has become extremely unfavorable to community contributors, cosmetic cases are rarely added, items are no longer purchasable from the store, and revenue is so diluted through key sales that most successful item makers won't be deriving much profit, if any, after the crate series ends. I know you probably understood zero of anything I just said, but trust me, it's important. I apologize if you find my language a little unusuals have always been gaudy, but every generation has become more gaudy than the last. Gen 1 had some fire, and some nuts, and some green lights. Now we have demons vomiting bones, skeletons dancing under a disco ball, a portal to hell opening under your feet. Are you sure this game's not satanic? An orbiting ash-covered smoldering rubber duck, an orbiting ash-covered scorching live bat. This one is just boxes. I'm almost convinced this one was made on accident. To be honest, unusuals have always kind of been ugly, but they've definitely gotten worse over the years. Oh, that's the cowbell. You guys know what the cowbell stands for.
It's time for a lightning round.
Pink and lime are oversaturated and look bad on most things that aren't a hat. Black and white are too saturated and don't have any toned down alternatives. Paints have existed for 7 years and there still isn't a dark brown. Cosmetics are prone to noticeable lighting errors. Beard flexes are completely inverted client side. Cosmetics are constantly clipping. Equip regions are flawed and prevent a lot of ordinary combos. Team recognition! Imagine you just installed the game. What team is this? What team is this? What team is this? Okay, well that one doesn't really count. I did it a couple years ago using a bug, but it's still a problem. And this doesn't really mean anything, but the Screamin' Eagle added during the end of the line update, never actually an end of the line. Valve forgot to remove it from the crate before they released it. They also forgot to add the cold snap coat and had to add it later. So, you know, good job, Valve. I know this whole video really makes me come off as a hard ass, but I don't care that much about them pushing the art style. You know, the buds are pretty minimalistic, and Pyro wearing a boot on his head isn't really gonna hurt anybody. But there's a pretty thick line between contextually comical and just fucking stupid.
What a disaster!